Okay, now in part 2, we'll look at the same thing without the pictures, but you'll get an idea because we've done this dividing a whole number by a fraction, and we have now 4 divided by 2/3. Do you remember? How many 2/3 make 4 wholes? What we did was we split 4 into thirds. How many thirds can you get out of 4 wholes? Well, you'll have to do this. And this was an underhanded way of doing it. It makes it much easier to just flip this over and do 4 times 3. So you get 12 thirds. So 4 wholes make 12 thirds. It's much easier to get it straight off this way once you flip it. So once you know 4 wholes split into 12 thirds, how many, that's 12, and how many 2/3 fit into 12 thirds? It's like saying how many 2 cats fit into 12 cats. How many groups of 2 cats fit into 12 cats? Well, you divide 12 by 2. So if you divide 12 by 2, you get the answer 6. Notice you're dividing this number 12 by this number here too. Let's look at it again here. How many 2/3 make 4 wholes? Break 4 into thirds. Easy way to do that is to first write 4 as 4 over 1 and multiply it by 3 over 2. Flip it over and multiply straight across. You'll get 12 thirds. And how many 2/3? Multiplied by 2. So we're asking how many 2/3 fit 12 thirds, and the answer is 6. You see, we can simplify it and do it simply this way. It's just a lot easier, but let's look at it again. Here's another one. 3 divided by 3/4. Remember, we break 3 wholes into what? Who can answer we break 3 wholes into what? Yes, quarters. We have to break them into quarters. So what we do is multiply 3 by 4 because 1 whole is 4/4. So 3 wholes will have 3 times 4/4, right? So split it into fourths and 3 times 4. So we have the answer. But if you flip it over, it makes it easier. And multiply here instead. Flip it and then multiply 3 times 4. We get 12 fourths. That's 12 fourths. And then we find how many 3/4 fit into 3 wholes, which means into 12 fourths. How many 3/4 fit into 12 fourths? That's 12 divided by 3. And the answer is 4, which is what we do here. We do it straightforward this way. 3 divided by 3/4. What do? We do exactly what we did here. Instead of multiplying it this way, let's flip it over first. Make it 3 over 1. Flip it over with a multiplication sign. And then we multiply across, that's 12. Right? That's 12 fourths. And how many 3/4 fit into it? Well, divided by 3. And the answer is 4. There's your answer. Same thing. So this is a simple, straight, cut to the chase kind of method of doing division. Turn it into a multiplication problem. So here's 2 divided by half. Again, instead of what we did was split it into halves. How many halves do we get in 2 wholes? Well, we multiply. Let's just flip it over and multiply this way. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 halves is 2 wholes. And how many 1/2s make 4 halves? Well, obviously 4. 4 divided by 1. Easy peasy. So that's the operation here. We turn this as 2 over 1, and then this into multiply and flip. And then we multiply right across. There's 4 halves. And how many halves do we need? 1/2. So how many 1/2s make 4 halves? Well, 4. There you go. Okay, let's do another one. Here again, we're going to break 5 into what? 5 wholes we break into what? Into eighths, that's right. 1 whole is 8/8. So 5 wholes will be 5 times 8. We've split it into eighths. And so instead of doing it this way, we flip this whole thing over with the times multiplication sign here. So we get 48ths. 48ths. And we want to know how many 5/8 fit into 48, so divided by 5. 40 divided by 5, you see it's this 5 here. And the answer is 8. And this is what we do. the shorter, easy method. 5 over 1. Turn this into a multiplication sign and flip this over. You know why we're flipping it over. Just to make it easier. This is exactly what we do. We actually multiply these two. That's 40. And then we actually multiply these two and then divide it by the answer 5. And the answer here is 8. Same as this. So, do you want to try these straight away? That's 2 over 1. What do we do next? Yes, we multiply and flip this over. And we get 4 over 1. 4 divided by 1, which is 4. This one, what do we do here? Tell me. Yes, 4 is the same as 4 over 1. This is multiplied and flip it over. Remember, multiply is the inverse or upside down version of division. So that's another way of looking at it. So that's done. Now we just do multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And the answer is 6. So that's the method for dividing. 3 divided by 3/4. What do we do here? Very good. Over 1. What do we do here? Very good. We flip this over and turn this sign into a multiply sign like that. Remember, we never flip this over. We always flip the second fraction over because we're trying to find out how many thirds, how many fourths we get. So we get 12/4. And how many 3/4 fit into 12/4 divided by 3? And that's your answer. So 3 times 4, 12. 1 times 3, 3. 12 divided by 3. What about this? Great. Next one, 5 divided by 5/8. Yes. 5 over 1. Very good. What's to be done here? Times 8/5. Very good. And then we multiply across. 5 times 8. 40. Very good. 1 times 5. 5. And what's the answer to this? Excellent. Next one. 7 over 1. Very good. What do we do here? Flip this over. Is that it? Do we do anything else? Yes, we change the sign. When we flip, we turn this into multiply. It's like saying it's the inverse of divide is to multiply. Almost like the opposite. So that's the opposite of divide. So you turn this into its opposite direction. Think about it that way. So we have 63. 1 times 7 is 7. 63 divided by 7 is 9. Great. Now you do these. Tell me the answer. What's the answer? Very good. Flip. Yes. You can also reduce. This is 10 and this is 5. If you divide both by 5, you get 1 and 2. And then multiply across, you get 14. Same thing here. Flip and multiply. See if you can reduce 20 and 4. You can divide 4 and 20 by 4. So if you divide 4 by 4, you get 1. And 20 by 4, you get 5. There's nothing else to reduce. The answer is 5 times 9, which is 45. Flip and multiply. And now you can reduce 9 and 36. Divide 9 by 9 and 36 by 9. You'll get 4 and 1. And then multiply across, you'll get 40. That's the way to divide. You have an idea now? Go for it. Just go there and keep dividing. Keep dividing your joys. Keep dividing your sorrows. Keep dividing. And do it right. You'll be an expert before you know it. Take care. Have a wonderful day. And bye-bye.